You know, after I spent almost a year in the world of devices, I realized that it is never easy for a company to successfully launch a flagship, especially when its main feature is a pure experiment. For example, new ASUS ZenFone 6 can do this. Looks unusual, sounds unusual, feels unusual. I was excited 3000 when I saw it first time. Let's check this out and see will I recommend ZenFone 6 as your new device. When looking through the sides, you may say the design looks a bit cheesy because here we see routine glass in front and back and standard chamfering on the metal frame. It looks great, no hard feelings, but it is never surprising anymore. There's alophobic coating everywhere, which is also nifty. The bad thing is neither liquid protection outside nor wireless charging inside. Probably Taiwanese do not need that stuff at all, then why do I need? What about you? High time to share your thoughts in comments. But what brings a bit of a peace to our souls is the assembly. It is really incredible here, nothing falls off or puffs up from the body, and the only place that rumbles upon aggressive shaking is the innovative flip camera. But this is obvious, after all this is a moving element, the rest of the device feels reliable and solid. By the way, speaking of sustainability, it is said that the rotating mechanism is based on 13 gears and is made of high-end alloys. In other words, it shouldn't break by itself. Also, according to the manufacturer again, the mechanism ensures to make 100,000 operations, that is about 5 years of work on the condition to use the flip 28 times a day. That speaks a lot, I think. In addition to the face recognition function, this device has self-preservation instincts and therefore understands when the smartphone is ready to hit the ground if you suddenly drop it. As soon as possible it tries to hide inside the body. We tested that and the feature is worth it. Also, who noticed an important fact? Thanks to the flipping mechanism, the main camera plays the role of the front one as well. So, who wants some awesome selfies? I'll show you pics and videos soon, but have you already seen how it makes panoramas? Look, I'm not moving. Not moving! But hey, we ain't finished with the body yet. There's NFC that makes the world of contactless payments open for you and spacious card drawer that allows you to set 3 cards for different needs. Please note that not every flagship offers that. Mini jack is here as well, despite the available Type-C port. Whether you hate adapters or in love with 3.5 headphones port, it's time for cheering up. And when I almost forgot about LEDs in smartphones, here we met again. And the last but not least good news on the outside is a customizable button. By default it belongs to Google Assistant, but you can also make it launch other apps in settings. To be honest, after such list I'm ready to forgive ASUS the missing wireless charging and liquid protection, although I'm a huge fan of them. Anyway, LED, mini jack and triple card drawer are rare guests in modern flagships, definitely my thumbs up here. The only grief comes from a fingerprint reader. I have no complaints to its speed, rather than to its standard position on the back. It may not be a critical thing, but more and more people are getting used to the front in screen scanners. That's all about the body. Moving on to the screen, it is 6.4 inches Full HD Plus IPS. For the last 3 letters, my thank you is huge. The clarity of the picture is neat, separate pixels are not eating your eyes. Colors are without oversaturation, specs say about 100% coverage from DCI-P3 and the support of HDR10. All that stuff is undercovered with Gorilla Glass 6. The brightness range is enough to ensure nice work under the blue sky on a sunny day and in a dark without artificial light. Just keep in mind that enough doesn't mean perfect. In settings you will also find the color adjustment tool. It's pretty weak but simple and user-friendly. Next, let's speak about sound capabilities. Through the speakers, the device sings loud and pleasant in total. This is not the most crispy sound I've heard from speaker, however I'd give it around 8 points out of 10, and for the volume it is both 10 out of 10. In other words, using the built-in acoustics, you can watch movies and be sure that in a noisy place ZenFone 6 will bring the call to your ears. The one who can't live their life without headphones will be also pleased with the quality. Speaking in kinda audiophiles way, details here are clear, highs are not biting, bass is massive and middle frequencies are nice too. Overall, by the standards of smartphones, ZenFone 6 sounds very good. Quickly flipping into the cameras, the first lens is for 48 megapixels with a general and familiar to us viewing angle, the second has 13 megapixels but the angle is 125 degrees. Together with them you can practically unleash all your photo potential, and thanks to the extremely good HDR, the pics in most cases delight us not only with a pleasant color transfer and details but also with a bit enhanced but still cool dynamic range. If you're a popular Instagram blogger, I'd say that ZenFone 6 might become a real photo gun in your hands. Another thing, if you require the subtlest details at night and there is no such pixel in the world that can hide from you, then get ready to make a series of shots in the dark street to get the wanted picture without noise or smeared spots. In short, it seems to me that photos are mostly nice and ASUS actually do not delay with software updates to fix some of the flaws. Video comes out in 4K up to 60 FPS. Stabilization depends only on software. On the one hand, if we take a look from the main camera side, the clips are just okay, but on the other hand, the same camera set plays for selfies too, and for the front camera the videos are as wonderful as It came to my mind that this is almost the ideal face shooting camera for video bloggers. We've also tested the focus capture with the flip camera. When you record video and the object that you specifically chose to be in the center is moving, the flipping mechanism tracks the movements, trying to keep your model sharp and in the center. The hardware, ZenFone 6 took all the finest with itself. Our version has Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 with Adreno 640 graphics, 8GB of RAM and 256GB of storage. But there are more modifications. Our sample is very quick, it can launch and run fast absolutely everything including heavy games. The one we love and play are PUBG Mobile and World Tanks Blitz, both work amazingly here on the maximum settings without slowdowns. Seriously, has anyone had any doubts? Already looking at smartphone specs, it should become clear that this is a gaming monster that will spam the efficiency for not less than 2-3 years ahead. Actually, this is how the true flagship should look like. Here, check this out, we've got some numbers to share. In this table you will find how ZenFone 6 hits under different, mostly heavy loads, comparing with other brands' flagships on the market. Overall benchmark test results are also in front of you, the scores are as high as expected, and here results of the battery life benchmark tests, and they are, frankly speaking, make me feel sorta freaked out. What's important, in real usage the smartphone battery shows its full power. On the average I had to charge the phone once in 2 days, taking the fact that I was listening music, watching YouTube and using camera. Here's what I call nicely optimized system, plus the battery for 5000 mAh. So to say, it supports Quick Charge 4.0 and charges up to 100% from the native adapter for 18 watts nearly in 2 hours. That number may sound big, but the results are definitely worth it. Considering the price, ZenFone 6 once again breaks some records because its cost is within the range of last year's flagships of some brands. I think it's a strong fact, and why not to add it to the list of features, because you know that love triangle, people, product, price. Yeah, summarizing everything, I can say that I personally enjoy about the cost, the body, the screen, the sound, the battery, and of course the hardware of ZenFone 6. Okay, with all those positive words, I might have mistakenly climbed to the cloud 9, but here's what you need to understand. If I wanted so, I would dance around the cheesy style and the absence of liquid protection, saying that the phone is a joke. Technically, the camera here is not the best on the market, and besides, it's flagship without AMOLED and always on display in 2019. But you know what, it's time to stop thinking with patterns and standards. The one who found key points for himself about that smartphone while watching our video is now probably thinking about possibility to order that phone, and the one who's not impressed about its features will at least get the temptation from the adequate price. Overall, can ASUS ZenFone 6 be a nice choice in 2019? Yes, with all my guts, I'll approve this choice. If you like this video, hit the like button and also subscribe and ring the bell to stay tuned for more cool content. My thanks for watching and cheers!